What's up? What's up? Hello, and welcome to the S3. I'm JD. She is Lady M. Lady M, how are you doing this beautiful Saturday morning?
I'm
Out here?
grateful it's the weekend.
This is true because, do we ever really fully take a day off? Probably not. But
Not really, but I
you
don't
don't
have
have,
to deal with my 9 to 5 today, which is a bit of a break.
yeah, like the Matrix can wait. Like you can create the lady in the red dress on Monday. All right. So thank you for everybody tuning in on the show. If you're watching the live version, make sure you put hashtag live. If you're watching the recorded version, make sure you put hashtag recording. We are trying new times. Usually we're on Fridays, usually about 3 or 4 o'clock, but we're trying to get more interaction. If that works today, awesome. If it doesn't work today, then we'll try another time next week, probably. But we definitely want to make sure that we do at least 2 shows a week and we get this content out to you, to our loyal followers. First off, we do want to give a shout out to our parent company, No Boss, No Rush LLC. You can check them out with all of our latest gear, including new gear to support the S3 podcast on their website. The link will actually be scrolling at the bottom of the page for those of you watching the video. For the rest of you, go to the S3 Podcast Facebook page, and it is pinned to the very top of the page. Go check out the new gear, support your veteran companies, and support the pod. We definitely appreciate it. Also, if you're looking to start your first podcast, you can actually get a 1-month free trial of Podbean's unlimited hosting plan just by going to podbean.com/coach JD. Make sure you put in /coach JD to get that free 1-month trial of their unlimited plan. Same plan that we use. Excellent plan. All right. What's first?
Headlines with horrible dad jokes.
We warned you ahead of time. They're horrible. But let's start with the headlines. Headline number 1, Devin Booker scores second straight 50-point game versus the Pelicans in the 123-109 win on Friday night. This doesn't really surprise anybody. Devin Booker's a scorer. He can score, right?
Yeah.
What would surprise me is if he actually averaged more than 11.5 points per game in an elimination game in the playoffs. Like the Suns are really big on finding like showmen, right?
Yeah.
Devin Booker's a great showman. He's a good scorer. Look, like he's awesome, right? But when it comes down to it, when it's crunch time, he absolutely shrivels.
Drops the ball.
Yeah, he's done. He's done. Like he doesn't even touch the ball.
Shits the bed.
Yeah. 11.5 points in the last 2 years in an elimination game. To end their season, he has scored 12 and 11 points.
When he's regularly capable of more than 50 a game. Yeah.
This is great,
something to be upset about as a fan.
But I'm like, this is nice. Do it when it matters. Moving on. Did you hear about the kidnapping at school?
No.
Neither did I, but I did hear that he was pissed when the teacher woke him up. Stop napping during school, kids. All right. Headline number 2, Celtics win streak at home to start the season ends at 20 games with a loss to the Nuggets. I mean, it was fun, but the fact that they lost, it really doesn't mean anything. They're still a great team.
It was by 2 points, too. It's not like they got slaughtered or anything. It was just a fluke that was bound to happen eventually.
I kind of saw it happening because at the end, it was like they were just throwing up shots to, just this is going to go in. They were throwing up terrible. So they were airballing, missing layups. Like, we're going to win. Yeah. We know we're going to win. And then they lost.
Sloppy.
It was very sloppy. It was very, very sloppy last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And they still had a shot at the end, and it just didn't happen. But all right, they're still the number 1 team in the East. Is still off to one hell of a start to the season. So that's cool. All right. So I went on to Amazon to find a lighter the other day, but all it showed me was 6,000 matches. Let that one sink in.
It took a second. I got
Look for a lighter. Show me 6,000 matches. All right. Horrible. We told you. We warned you ahead of time. All right. The Raiders have officially announced the hiring of Antonio Pierce as their head coach. Pierce took over as the interim head coach after the firing of Josh McDaniels back in October. He finished with a record of 5-4 through the rest of the season. Notable wins in 2023 came from a franchise record 63-point game against the Chargers and defeating the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead for only the second time since 2013. He went 3-1 overall against his division rivals in the AFC West. So, yeah, give them a job. Pretty damn good. Lady M, what does an evil chicken lay?
Deviled eggs? Is it deviled eggs?
You got one. Deviled eggs. I personally love deviled eggs.
Oh, like yeah.
I'm
it's so funny because there's a joke about it that I see all the time where they say something like, here, sit down and eat 6 hard-boiled eggs. And you're like, ew. And then you're like, okay, but what if they're deviled?
Yeah. Me personally, I'd throw some salt and pepper on them and I'm good. Like just whole egg right in the mouth. I love hard-boiled eggs. Big hard-boiled eggs, yeah. Headline number 4. Rays star Wander Franco could face up to 20 years in prison for having sex with a 14-year-old girl. And, oh, by the way, he was also money laundering.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Franco wrote to this young lady on WhatsApp. This is how you get caught, people. I'm not saying he should have did it in the first place. This is how you get caught because these things are recorded.
Yeah.
He wrote in Spanish, my girl, if my team realizes this, it could cause problems for me. It is a rule for all teams that we cannot talk to minors, and yet I took the risk and I loved it. I wonder if he's still going to love it as a pedophile in prison.
Right.
Yeah, see, there's like you have all these hardcore people like murderers and everything in prison. The number one target for all of them is a pedophile.
Yeah.
Took the risk. You're still going to love it. Now, he hasn't been convicted yet, but there's a ton of evidence against him.
It sounds that way. If they already timing himself out. Like anything that goes through the internet is forever. Even if it goes through your phone service and it's texts, they hold that stuff in their databases for a good 6 months, even after you've deleted it.
Right.
Like
good to know. All right.
Don't fuck with children though, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, there is that. I was just about to say that. I'm like, there is a way around this.
There's one big workaround here.
All right. So I had a friend that was known to sweep girls off their feet. He was a really aggressive janitor. When I read that, you know who came to mind? You probably know who I'm thinking of. Yes, the janitor from Scrubs.
Yeah.
Like I can totally see it.
Just from the joke.
That's why I added that one in there. I'm like, this is the janitor. All right, let's dive into it. What's first or what's next?
First quarter, NFL Divisional Round.
The Divisional Round. It starts in a little over an hour, which is why we will be done. This is perfect timing. Today, there's 2 games on the schedule. The 2:30 game is the number 4 Texans against the number 1 seed
Ravens.
Baltimore Ravens. The line in this has been 9.5 all week.
Yeah, I still
hasn't changed.
don't buy that. I think it's going to be closer.
You think it's going to be closer, but nobody's putting any money down. It's really not leaning one or the other.
Right.
It's leaning obviously heavily in the favor of the Ravens, but that line hasn't climbed. Right?
Yeah.
So you got the Ravens who are number 1 in pass defense. They're also number 1 in rushing offense.
Right.
Like we talked about this. Who do you have in this game? Winning straight up. No side bets.
I honestly don't know that I know. I mean, I do think it leans towards the Ravens some, but Like I
you
described
have
it,
to, right?
like I described it in the last show, the Texans are a giant boulder rolling downhill with a lot of momentum and excitement behind them. I do think the Ravens are like an actual concrete wall, but if that boulder has enough momentum, it'll break the concrete wall. So
If the Texans can run the ball today with
yeah.
Pierce and Singletary, if they can run the ball today and control and keep that offense off the field and tire out that defense,
Right.
that's the only shot they have. Like, this isn't going to be
Right.
like a 35-35 shootout.
Yeah.
This has to be a low-scoring game. They're going to
gonna
have
be
to
a blow
force a
by blow.
turnover or two. Like, if they have any chance at all winning this game, they got to win the turnover game.
Yeah.
I just don't see it happening.
No.
You got Tank Dell is out. He's on injured reserve. You got like all basically they have is they've got Dalton Schultz and they got Nico Collins.
Yeah.
If they can't get their running game going, that's it.
That's a good point.
And the Baltimore secondary is flat out awesome. They are number one in pass defense.
No, the Ravens deserve to be where they are, so no arguing that.
I mean, this is basically playing into everybody's hands anyway. Like, everybody's pretty much predicting at this point. Like, my prediction at the beginning of the season was, I thought it was going to be simple. I picked the 49ers and I picked the Bengals.
Yeah.
And if Joe Burrow wouldn't have been freaking hurt, like they were on a 5-game winning streak before he got hurt. Yeah, they might have
actually lived up to your expectations.
Let's not go back to that. All right, let's not go back to that. So yeah, I mean, obviously you're looking at the 2 number 1 seeds moving on today. Speaking of which, that second game, the Packers, the 7 seed team that shocked the world a week ago, the number 7 seed Packers at the 49ers. Do they shock the world again? Let us know in the comments for those of you that are watching. Like, do the Packers win today? I say no.
No.
I say no.
I do think they'll make it a little harder on the 49ers than I would have expected, but that line I could buy into.
It's 9.5. This line, just like the last line, is 9.5.
Yeah. 2 touchdowns.
I can't.
Ahead.
I don't know. I don't know if I give you 9.5 for the 49ers. I mean, on paper, the 49ers should absolutely beat down and blow out the Packers.
Yeah.
But the Packers shouldn't even be here.
Right.
They shouldn't. They literally shouldn't. But they
I
found
agree.
out a way.
The way they were playing this season, it's a football miracle they made it this far. It's the only description I have.
I've got one Packer fan in mind. His name's Mike. Great guy. I'm kind of cheering for him on that end. Yeah. But
the upsets are always fun. I'm not going to be upset if there is an upset. I just don't expect there to be one.
Well, all I know is
there aren't
every time the Packers lost this season, you pick that loss. I know this. Are you picking them to lose today?
Yeah.
Okay. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. If you have money on the Packers, I'm sorry. She said they're going to lose. They're going to lose. Will they cover? That's another story, but they're going to lose. I do not see them going to San Francisco and pulling off this upset.
No, me either.
However, I do have some, but you know what? I'll go over the best bets that I have after we talk about all 4 games. I'll do that. All right. Okay. Tomorrow's slate, you got the number 4 Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the number 3 Lions. Line is Detroit -6.5. Both teams are 12-6 against the spread this season. The Bucs blitz heavy. 41% of all dropbacks by opposing quarterbacks are blitzes. Does Tampa Bay have a shot going into Detroit against your team? Not necessarily your team, but your number 1 team to root for. Your underdogs. You're picking the Lions today,
they're not the underdogs this year, but
you're obviously picking the Lions here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm picking the Lions too. I just don't see Tampa Bay being able to go into a shootout with this team.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, Tampa Bay's defense actually looked like the Tampa Bay defense should look last week. Like they absolutely destroy. Who they play? The Eagles. They
Yeah, I think that was
destroyed
it.
them.
They did. That was pretty unexpected, is the word I would like to use.
32-9. That's an
Yeah,
ass
it
whooping.
was some ridiculous thing like that.
It was an ass whooping.
Yeah.
With that being said, I've got the Lions. I've got the Lions, but I think the Buccaneers will keep this inside a touchdown game. So I would pick them to cover. I'll go over that in just a second. The final game on Sunday, the Chiefs, the 3 seed at the number 2 Bills. This is the first time the Chiefs have had to travel to Orchard Park for the postseason. They've never had to play a playoff game in Buffalo.
Interesting.
They've never had to play.
As
This is the
many
first time
times as these two teams have gone head to head
in the
during the
playoffs.
playoffs.
It's always been at Arrowhead. This is
Wonder
the
if that'll
first
throw 'em
time
off their
they've
game.
actually had to travel to Orchard Park and get away from the friendly confines of Arrowhead Stadium. Regular season stat, the Bills have held the Chiefs to 20.8 points per game and have forced 9 turnovers during their matchups in the regular season. However, in the postseason, the Chiefs have averaged 40 points and only have 1 turnover against the Bills.
Right.
Here's another stat for you. Stephon Diggs has not had a 100-yard game since, this is a familiar date, October 15th.
He did it for your birthday present and then just quit.
That was it. That was the last time I made money on Stephon Diggs. When I bet on him on my birthday. That was it. The line in this game, we talked about this on Wednesday. It's only 2.5. For football bets, just being the home team, you get 2 to 2.5 points.
Yeah.
If it's at that line or under, that means they really don't have the faith in the home team.
I agree with that. Just so, like, they're so evenly matched. I'm almost gonna have to flip a coin to even pick who I think can do it. I think it's gonna be a good game, though. They almost always have a good game together.
All right, so let me go back to my best bets for the Baltimore Texans game, or the Texans-Baltimore game, or the Texans-Ravens game. My best bet is a Gus Edwards anytime touchdown at plus 110. Gus Edwards anytime touchdown plus 110 on DraftKings. My best bets for the Packers at the Niners game. See, here's the problem with this. You cannot pick one receiver and guarantee they're going to have a good game because Jordan Love loves to spread the ball around. His receiving options are Christian Watson, Dontavion Wicks, Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed, Aaron Jones out of the backfield, Luke Musgrave, and Tucker Kraft, who you've never heard me mention on this show before, at tight end. Tucker Kraft, ladies and gentlemen. He is an option as per last week. Last week was the first time I actually realized he was on the Packers.
Right.
Luke Musgrave, I know. Aaron Jones, I know. Jaden Reed, I know. Romeo Doubs, Dontavion Wicks, and Christian Watson, I know. So I threw a dart at the dartboard and I said, all right, Christian Watson, anytime touchdown, plus 280. You bet $100, you win 380 if Christian Watson gets in the end zone. I'll take that. I'll take that bet. Absolutely. Get him in the end zone, though. We'll find out tonight. Of course, it could get beat down, and the Niners have absolutely shut them down, and everybody that takes my advice is pissed at me. By the way, look, it says at the bottom of our website, all of our picks are for entertainment purposes only, ladies and gentlemen. All right? I don't do this professionally.
Yeah.
I do it for fun.
Yeah.
I throw out there. I do some research, with the exception of this pick where I just threw a dart at the dartboard. And I did this sober. All right? I'm awesome at darts if I'm drinking. Am I lying?
Yeah. No, Mr. Close your eyes and look away from the thing. I'm going to throw a bullseye right now.
It only happens when I'm drinking. If I'm sober, I'm barely hitting the damn dartboard.
Like, it was so ridiculous. I threw
Not lying. I did it like 3 times in a row, like drunk, and I hit bullseye 3 times. All right. With that being said, entertainment purposes only. We're throwing them out there. All right. Moving on to the next best bet. For the Buccaneers at the Lions, I got Mike Evans, anytime touchdown, -110. I also have Tampa Bay plus 6.5 in this one. All right, so I got 2 best bets for you on there. The next one, I've got the Chiefs plus 2.5.
Yeah.
I've got the Kansas City Chiefs plus 2.5 tomorrow night. Like, I don't have any faith. The odds, the people that are betting in this game don't have any faith in. That's why the lines say 2.5. That's it. All right. So that's the end of the first quarter. What's next?
Second quarter, NBA schedule for tonight.
All right. So there's one game going on right now. It's the newly named, brand new team out there, in case you never heard of them, Milwaukee Bucks at the Detroit Pistons. We're not even touching that game. Didn't need to touch that game. It's pretty freaking obvious who's going to win that game. The Detroit Pistons have one win. One win in the last month. They have 4 wins total. They are not going to upset the Milwaukee Bucks. So we just left that off schedule. We're not going to do our 10-point play. We're going to do a 6-point play, though. So pay attention, children. All right. We're about to give you some games to watch. Starting off with the 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time game, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got 2 on the schedule starting out. The 76ers at 27-13 at the horrible Hornets at 9-30. 76ers looking for their 5th straight win. Then you got, this is as even of a matchup as possible. I would love to see if you pick any of these teams for any of your picks. You got the Spurs 7-34, 7 wins, 34 losses at the Washington Wizards at 7-33. Washington has lost 4 straight at home.
Yeah.
Those teams were probably better than the 7-34 Spurs. Something to think about. The 5:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time starts. Cavaliers 24-15 at the Hawks, 18-23. Atlanta is looking for their 4th straight win. Atlanta's woke up over the last week. It's going to be interesting. Raptors 15-26 at the New York Knickerbockers, 25-17. Raptors are 0-10 versus their divisional opponents so far this season. 6 p.m. start. The Grizzlies 15-26 at the Chicago Bulls at 20-23. The Bulls are 13-10 at home so far this season. The line is Chicago -7.5. Jazz 22-21 at the Houston Rockets. Houston has lost 3 straight games. And then you got the Thunder, the OKC Thunder at 28-13 at the Timberwolves, 30-11. This is going to be a pretty damn good game. Minnesota, however, looking for their 5th straight win. That could be an upset if you pick the Thunder as an underdog. Underdog. All right. I got that from Scrubs, too. All right, moving on. Gosh. Yeah, we're going back and what? That's a good question. What series have we not watched that you want to start watching? Let's go back, start from season 1, episode 1. What are you thinking? Because we just finished Reacher. Oh, that's right. You want me to start watching Archer?
He's never watched Archer. If you guys understood this man's sense of humor, you'd know why that's a crime.
All right, I'm in. We'll start it. We'll start it Monday after all the football and stuff.
They're short too. It's 24 minutes. Like watching a Family Guy.
All right, let's do it. All right, we're in. All right, let's get into our 6-point play. So, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. First off, huge announcement. I won Wednesday. Why is that so big?
Happened.
Why is that such a big deal? Let me tell you. I created the game. I created the rules.
So
I started this off 0-2.
I got a perfect score the first week. I did.
She did.
I did.
And then I had a perfect score last week, but get this. I needed to hit the 4-point play, the half court shot, which we won't be doing today because there's not enough teams on the schedule. I needed that to win by 1.
And then he got it.
And then Simmons, Trailblazers, pulled it out with a last second shot.
We're
laying in bed.
To his phone watching this game.
We're laying in bed. I can't go to sleep. I could not go to sleep until I saw the final results because either I was just going to roll over and not say anything to her. And
you
she
guys
would know
think
what
he's
happened.
Joking, but he's already done it twice.
I'm very competitive.
So
it takes a very strong woman to be by my side. Trust me on this. Very competitive. Shot goes in. Victory fist in the air for me.
Yep.
Good night, baby. I love you. That's how you go to sleep. That's how you end the day. That's how it worked. All right. So today we're not doing the 10-point play because there's no half-court shot. We're going to try and do the 6-point play. Here's the rules. The only game that the other person can't play, well, you can't pick the same team, and you can't pick the game that's a guarantee for the other person.
Okay.
I think that's the rule. No, you just can't pick the same team.
You just can't pick.
You can pick that game. Yeah, you can pick that game.
You can't pick both teams in a game.
Right. Yeah, you can't. That's just
I think
that's
that was
stupid.
the other one.
That's called hedging your bets, and that's stupid.
Right.
All right, moving on. Don't chase your bets, people. 6-point play, layup. This is worth 2 points. This is your guarantee. Look at the schedule. Who is your guaranteed win for tonight on the late game list? Who do you got? It's going to be interesting because I wrote out the schedule. I still don't have a freaking clue who I'm picking.
I think I'm going to take the 76ers over the Hornets.
All right, that's a good pick.
I don't think that would be a good underdog game to pick.
That's a good pick. I am going to take the New York Knicks. Very rarely do I pick a New York team. Like I hate the
almost
Knicks,
never.
The
That's
Yankees,
very rare.
The Mets, the Rangers, the Islanders, the Bills, the Sabres, anything any team that plays in the state of New York or New Jersey, I'm out most of the time. All right. With that being said, who is your free throw? This is any. They can be an underdog. They can be an overdog. Whoever you want to pick. Basically, this is worth 1 point. This is a free throw, so you can take a risk on an underdog. You can take another guarantee.
I'll take the Jazz over the Rockets for the free throw.
You're taking the Jazz over the Rockets. Rockets have lost 3 straight games.
Yep.
Interesting pick there. I'm going to pick the Wolves. Timberwolves going for their 5th straight win. That's a tough matchup, though. That's the late game. Thunder at the T-Wolves.
Yeah.
That's a good game. I might have to peek in on that. All right. Last one. This is an underdog. Just has to be an underdog.
I'm going to take the Hawks over the Cavaliers. I think they're going to ride their win streak.
All right. Going for their 4th straight win. You got the Hawks. It should leave me 2 games. Actually, I could pick the Rockets. But I'm not that stupid. Watch them win now. They will blow out the Jazz because I didn't touch them. Let's go. I'm staying away from the Spurs and the Wizards. Both teams equally horrible.
All right.
Like, that's a coin toss. I'm staying away from that game. So, yeah. All right. I got the Bulls. I got the Grizzlies. Underdog. You know what? Give me the Grizzlies.
All right.
Give me the Grizzlies. Let's do it.
Grizzlies over the Bulls.
That's a long shot.
Wrote Grizzles.
I should have picked the Rockets. But I'm not going to. I took the Grizzlies. All right. Who do we got?
All right. So for our guarantees, I picked the 76ers over the Hornets. You picked the Knicks over the Raptors.
Come on,
For
Knicks.
our free throw, I took the Jazz over the Rockets, and you took the Timberwolves over the Thunder.
Okay.
And for our three-pointer choices, I did Hawks over the Cavaliers, and you did Grizzlies over the Bulls.
I just have a bad feeling that I'm about to start another losing streak. Like this is I'm about to start the season in the game that I created.
So salty.
1-3. I just have that feeling. Like I don't see me having.
Once you start beating me in these, it becomes an insurmountable hill for me. Like just our football bets. There was a week where I won every game and you had only one win and you're still like 7 points ahead of me somehow.
I mean, it's football, babe. Come on. If I know one thing, I know football. I don't really know much about anything else. Maybe NASCAR. But yeah. All right.
Once you
What's
take the lead,
next?
that's normally that. Third quarter, DraftKings DFS builds for NFL Divisional Round.
You know, in the movie like Ace Ventura, when he's about to like spill the beans on the whole deal and he takes that really big, deep breath before he comes out and says it?
Yes.
That's what I should do in this, but I'll probably pass out halfway through. So these are the builds that I went and I put together for the contest for tonight. I'm actually playing these. All right, so I'll let you know what place I came in. Hopefully I finish in the top quarter. If you finish in the top quarter, you're in the money, right? I want to finish in the top 25%, which means you usually make more than you put in for the buy-in. So let's see here. So I got a 4-game build. This is for all 4 games for the weekend. Starting out, quarterback, I got Jared Goff for Detroit at 6,300. Running back, Gus Edwards for Baltimore at 5,900. I've got Christian McCaffrey. You have to figure out a way to get Christian McCaffrey in there. He's at 8,800 for the Niners. I've got Reynolds for Detroit at 3,700. Expect a big game for him. I am expecting a very big game for Reynolds at 3,700. I've got Shakir for Buffalo at 3,800. I've got St. Brown for Detroit at 8,200. George Kittle for San Francisco at 5,200. Reed for Green Bay at 5,200. Again, all of those wide receivers and receiving options for Green Bay, coin flip. I came up with Reed. He's on the majority of my picks. I have 5,200. And I've got the Buffalo Bills defense. Something told me that weather is just going to affect the Chiefs. Whether they win or lose, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Like, I think the over-under is 44.5. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game than that. I don't think it's going to be a shootout at all. Okay, so for the 2-game slate for today, that's for the entire weekend. For today's matchup, just doing the games for today. At quarterback, I've got Jordan Love because you got to love for Green Bay at 6,200. I've got Edwards for Baltimore at 5,900. McCaffrey, he's expensive as hell at 8,800. You got to figure out a way to get him in there. I've got OBJ at 4,600. Odell Beckham Jr. I've got Dobbs for Green Bay at 5,600. Zay Flowers at 6. I've got Isaiah Likely. This man has come out and announced that he's going to be a top 10 tight end in the entire NFL next season. He's been playing very well. I've got him at 4,700. At my flex, I've got Dalton Schultz because he's one of 2 viable options for CJ Stroud for the Texans. I expect to have a big game from him at 4,400. I've got the Ravens at 3,500. Their defense. I mean, the Ravens got the best defense in the weekend. I know you got the Niners, but I like the Ravens defense better than I like the Niners defense. Next game, I've got the showdowns for today. Houston at Baltimore. Heads up for captain. I've got Likely. I'm liking Likely for Baltimore at 10-8. You got the Ravens defense at 4,400. I'm very heavy Ravens in this one. I've got Zay Flowers at Baltimore for 9,400. I've got Lamar Jackson at 12-2. I've got tight end Dalton Schultz, says his name again for Houston, 6,200. And then I've got Tucker because Tucker's going to kick some field goals in this game. I guarantee it for Baltimore at 5,200. For the Green Bay at San Francisco showdown, at my captain spot, I've got Jordan Love. Green Bay 13-8. I've got the kicker Carlson for Green Bay at 4,400. I've got the tight end George Kittle at San Francisco at 5,800. The running back, there he is again, Christian McCaffrey at 12-2. I've got Jay Moody, the kicker for San Francisco at 4,800. And I've got, there he is, Mr. Reed. Mr. Reed. What movie is that from? From Green Bay at 6,800. Don't answer now. You can if you want. For Sunday's matchups, I've got the 2-game slate matchup, and then I'll go over the showdowns, individual games here in a second. Sunday's matchup, my quarterback is Jared Allen for Buffalo at $8,000. My running back is Cook for Buffalo at 6,300. I've got Isaiah Pacheco for Kansas City at 6,400. My wide receivers, I've got Diggs. Hasn't done anything since my birthday in the middle of October, but I've got Diggs. I also have Reynolds. I've said it. Look for Reynolds to have a big game for Detroit at 3,700. I got Shakir for Buffalo at 3,800. Dalton Kincaid. Not only one of my favorite names in the NFL, he's quickly becoming one of my favorite tight ends in all of the NFL. At 4,800, my flex, Travis Kelce. Travis Swift. However you want to say, make sure he's in the game. I believe he's under Kelce in DraftKings, though. 6,000. And then my defense, I had to pick something cheap. I'm hoping Tampa Bay's defense can give me a little bit there against Detroit, but I'm not expecting it. So here we go. Tampa Bay at Detroit showdown game. Captain. I've got St. Brown as my captain. Wide receiver for Detroit, 16-8. My quarterback's Jared Goff for Detroit at 10,000. My running back for Detroit is Gibbs at 8,600. I've got both kickers, Badgley and McLaughlin, on this roster because they're cheap. And I've got tight end Cade Otton for Tampa Bay at 5,200. I love, out of all my matchups, that's the one that I love the most. I do, because we're cheering for Detroit. There's a lot of Detroit players on there. But I actually expect to put up a lot of points in that one. For the KC at Buffalo showdown, the final build that I have for this quarter, Captain Dalton Kincaid. I think he's going to have a huge game. Not just one, but 2 touchdowns in this game for Dalton Kincaid, Buffalo, 9,600. I've got the Bills defense special teams, $4,000. I've got Jared Allen for Buffalo at 12-2. I've got Patrick Mahomes for 10-6. I've got Travis Kelce at 7,800. And I've got the kicker, Mr. Bass, for Buffalo because I needed something cheap. And he should get you at least 1 point. You get that extra point. If Dalton Kincaid scores twice, then he should have at least 2 points. Moving on. What's next?
Fourth quarter, college quarter, the late games.
There has been a ton going on already at top 25 college basketball. I was going to go over them all, but we're stressed on time because I got to eat like soon. All right, moving on. My stomach's telling me it's time. Plus, football starts here in just a little bit. All right, so the college quarter, the late game, starting off at 4 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. You got Georgia at 13-4, visiting the 8th-seeded Kentucky Wildcats. Wildcats are 9-1 at home this season, favored by 11.5. You know how I feel about those double-digit scores.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like it. If I was to bet on this game, I'd probably take Georgia minus 11.5, but I expect the Wildcats to pull away the win at home. Number 20, it's not B-U-Y, it's B-Y-U. Damn you, autocorrect. At 14-3, at 25, the 25th seed, Texas Tech, also 14-3. Texas Tech is 10-0 at home. The line in this one is minus 2.5.
Yeah.
I like BYU in this game straight up. Take them on the money line. I like them. All right. The 6 o'clock game. Here's my favorite college team out there. Number 1, UConn, 16-2, heading into Villanova 11-6. Nova 6-2 at home this season. UConn is 13-2 against teams with a winning record this season. Line is Huskies -4. I will take the Huskies -4 in this game. Next up, Pittsburgh 10-7 at 7th seed Duke. Blue Devils Duke dominant at home 9-1. Pitt is 1-5 versus the ACC opponent so far this season. The line is Duke -13.5. Kyle Flipowski is coming off for a 30-point game for Duke in the win versus Georgia Tech. I hate double-digit lines in college basketball, but I expect Duke to cover -13.5 in this game. The 6:30 p.m. game, number 22 Ole Miss at 15-2 at 13th seed Auburn Tigers. Tigers are 16-2. They're also 9-0, perfect 9-0 at home. The Rebels are 2-2 versus the SEC opponents. The line in this one is -12.5. I will also take Auburn -12.5 in this game. What's next?
Overtime. Questions for JD. What are your initial thoughts of what the Patriots are going to do with the third pick in the 2024 draft?
Oh, that's a great question. So good. It's almost like I wrote it. Okay, so here's the deal. This is what I'm looking at. You got so many avenues, so many roads that the Patriots can go down. Right now, they currently have the number 3 pick. What would I like to see? I do not want to see another rookie quarterback, even though there are 2, maybe 3 out there that I like.
Yeah.
I think the marriage is over in Denver between the Denver Broncos and Russell Wilson.
Right.
I still believe the best pure deep passer in the entire NFL is Russell Wilson. I think you need to trade a number 2 or a number 3 pick for him. This is my personal plan. I'm going to tell you what I think they're going to do in a second. My personal plan is you need to trade a draft pick for him. And then with the number 3 pick, you need to pick up Marvin Harrison Jr., the number 1 wide receiver in the entire draft. Do not let him go to the Cardinals at number 4. That's my personal opinion. Now, according to NFL.com's Daniel Jeremiah, he has the Bears taking Caleb Williams at number 1. He has the Commanders taking Drake May from North Carolina at number 2. And then he has the Patriots taking Jaden Daniels out of LSU, the Heisman Trophy winner, at the number 3 pick, with the Cardinals getting Marvin Harrison Jr. at number 4. Here's why I disagree with this. Justin Fields has shown leaps and bounds growth over the last half of this NFL season.
Yeah,
I think they are going to give him somebody to go with DJ Moore on the outside. I think that the Bears pass up on Caleb Williams with the number 1 pick. I think the Bears pass up with on Drake May with the number 1 pick. I think the Chicago Bears invest everything they have into making Justin Fields work, and they draft Marvin Harrison Jr., which leaves both Caleb Williams and Drake May to the Patriots. Potentially, Washington should still pick one of them.
Right.
So whichever one doesn't go to Washington, either Caleb Williams or Drake May, the Patriots need to pick him up. I do not like Jaden Daniels. I do not like Jaden Daniels. I do not like Jaden Daniels for multiple reasons. Number 1, first and foremost, is his character. I don't like it. What are you talking about? He was really good at LSU. Yeah, because that's all you saw. You didn't see what he was like out here while I was covering Arizona State. In case you didn't notice, Herm Edwards is no longer the head football coach out here at Arizona State. You want to know why? Because there was a huge violation where players were brought in during COVID, which was unauthorized, to meet with the team. The number 1 person behind all of this was Jaden Daniels' mother. She set up all the meetings. She set up all the flights through her email, her Gmail account, for all these top prospects to come and play with her son here at Arizona State because he was the quarterback here. And then she says, oh, my account got hacked. Nobody ever in the history of ever wakes up one day and says, I need to hack the starting quarterback at Arizona State's, not just his account. I need to hack his mother's account and start making stuff up. What? This is why I don't like Jaden Daniels. This is why, like, no, I do not want to see him on the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
I'll take Caleb Williams. I'll take Drake May as the quarterback if we can't trade for Russell Wilson. That's my number one move, in case you're just joining us. I want to see the Patriots send a second or a third round pick to the Denver Broncos for Russell Wilson. Since he's no longer going to be on the team, why not?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
No, I don't want to see it. I don't care that he just won the Heisman. I don't care. He played against subpar teams.
Yeah. It's the Dolphins.
Ugh. Like the Dolphins. Great example.
Like the Dolphins.
Like, I don't want to see it. And it goes all the way back to this. Because as soon as news came out, like within 24 hours that it came out that the Arizona State Sun Devils were being investigated, he transferred.
Yeah.
He didn't transfer long before. He didn't transfer like before all the people started coming in to visit. He transferred as soon as he found out that his ass was going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
My email got hacked. No, I'm not buying that shit. I'm not buying it. Nobody woke up one day and said, I need to go after Jaden Daniels' mother's email account.
It's like you get caught for insider trading and you try to claim that it was just
a hacker. And they bought it.
A hacker just decided to give you millions of dollars for no reason one day. Got it.
They bought it. That's the thing.
Oh, God.
NCAA investigation. Did you do this? No, I was hacked. Sounds good to me. Moving on. Let's go. Right. Let's go get Herm Edwards out of Arizona State. That was pretty much it. Sounds good to me. Sounds legitimate to me. Of course, people get hacked all the time. Has to have happened. Must have happened. I do not want to see Jaden Daniels on the Patriots. I don't want to see it. And I don't even think he's going to be that good of a college quarterback anyway.
Right.
I don't think so. Moving on. Is yeah, I don't want to see it. All right, that's it. That's it. I'm hungry. Put food in my belly. My belly.
You want to say your little closing sentences there?
Yeah, I guess. All right, so remember, if you're looking to start your first sports podcast, you can go ahead, go on to podbean.com/CoachJD, and you will get a 1-month free trial of Podbean's unlimited hosting plan. Again, that's podbean.com/CoachJD. That's it for the show. I'm JD. She's Lady M. Keep loving sports. We'll check you later.